everybody. So, you're a manager, you've got that resourcing gap because a piece of work has come in, you need it done, how are you going to do it? There's limited funds for you to do it with. We haven't got money, obviously, with the, facing the challenge issues, the economic challenges in the council, the Kent County Council. So you can't spend money on agency workers, you haven't got the resource in the team to do it. How are you going to do it? Well, I'm proposing accessing a candidate pool of people that are ready to go, up and ready to deploy straight into those work activities or those projects that you need doing straight away. And I call it flexi-pool. Flexi-pool is a candidate pool of younger people. Why younger people? Well, we all know very much that there is this issue around youth unemployment, and in Kent there are about 220,000 younger people, of which 6,000 of them are claiming benefits, and that was recorded back in January 2014, so very current. So these people are looking for work, and you've got work within the council that needs doing, and you haven't got the resources to do it. So why not get them in? You can deploy them straight to these activities, which makes it quite flexible for the candidate, and it makes it quite flexible for the manager. So why should KCC take on this initiative, this proposed pilot? Well, we need that flexibility because we're moving into a world where things need to be adapting, constantly changing, and this proposed project offers that flexibility. There's also an ageing workforce profile. At the moment, there are 6,000 people in the age ranges of 40 to 59, compared to only 680 18 to 24-year-olds. So if you look at that, it's just unbelievable that there's that massive chunk of people of that age range that are not being represented. And as I said earlier, there are 220,000 youngsters, 15 to 24, within Kent. So if you do the maths, the KCC profile doesn't actually represent the Kent demographics. So it will bring younger people into the organisation. There's also a cultural issue being that agile working is a fairly new thing at KCC. We have got initiatives underway, but what I'm proposing brings it right to the forefront, and it makes it really tangible, and it's delivering agile working. So it's bringing it right to the forefront. And the other benefit is that obviously it provides that flexibility and the resourcing element around it. You can just tap into a pool straight away and get that work done straight away. For a candidate, it obviously provides work experience, and a lot of these youngsters haven't had that before. It will enable them to gain those skills, that knowledge, the expertise that they are craving for, and it will make them more employable, and that's actually what businesses are moving towards. It's not about job security anymore, it's about being employable in today's world. So it will provide the youngsters with that. And in terms of the community, it's got a socio-economic benefit, that being obviously improving the unemployment rates amongst the youngsters, and also enriching their life experiences, because without this opportunity, being a younger person once upon a time, not too long ago, came out of university and I didn't actually know what I wanted to do. Done a degree in geography and had no idea where to take it. And I think if I had access to this pool, if I could register my details and get pinged into the organisation and do different things, because obviously part of this proposal is about being employed on a casual or fixed term basis and on an hourly charge. So if I could spend 2 hours in HR, 2 hours in IT, 2 hours in finance, it would build my experiences of how an organisation actually works. And I think that's what public sector organisations are lacking from a younger person's perspective. It's not really understanding what KCC or other local authorities do. So, how do I propose to do this, I guess you're thinking? Well, there are risks attached to it. We do need funding for this project to lift off of the ground, and if it's unable to secure that funding, it's going to really impact the proposal. So funding is required, and if it can't be drawn from the corporate management team within KCC, other avenues are going to have to be explored. The other risks around it are a lack of youngsters registering their details and not having those candidates ready in that pool. And I guess that's going to be mitigated by doing a communications campaign and getting out there, speaking to younger people in colleges, schools, universities, youth clubs, job centres, to get them aware about this proposal. And the other, I guess, the other side of it from an organisation perspective is that managers may not really want to implement something like this because of that cultural issue within the organisation. So that's about gaining buy-in from the top level and trickling it down. In terms of costs, I'm proposing that salary costs are going to come to about £78,000 with a full-time project manager on board and a project coordinator, and time being used by the organisational effectiveness manager on it to pick up the momentum on it. In terms of systems, I'm proposing 3 options. The first one is an internal recruitment solution, and it has the functionality to do it. It's just finding out the costings around it. The second option is modelling on something that we currently have going in-house, a microsite where jobs can be put up, details can be registered, and I'm anticipating that will cost about £16,000. The third option is very basic, standard, just registering details onto an e-form system, but not very singing and dancing kind of thing, and that's about £200. And to really conclude, what I'm saying is that I think this is an opportunity for youngsters to get into the organisation, gain work experience, and for the organisation to flex to those changes that are constantly occurring internally and externally. I think it's a proposal that you should vote for, so thank you for your time.
Thank you for that, Jazz. You've got a really easy conversational presenting style, and you held your notes and you didn't look at them once. So have some confidence in that you knew your stuff and you didn't need them. So next time maybe leave them on the chair. But it didn't detract from us listening to what you were saying. A couple of other things about your presentation, then I have got a couple of questions. You gave us a great lead-in with explaining the background and the benefits, but then once you heard the bell, you picked up because you realised you hadn't told us how you were going to implement it in your 3 options, so just to be aware of timing in future. But overall it was great, I really enjoyed listening to it, and I think it's an idea that absolutely could work and could have equally sat in last year's Rising Stars. A couple of questions. There's been a lot of negativity in the press about the use of 0 hours contracts, and your proposal has that as a key part of it. How are you going to overcome that so that your county council isn't seen as adding to the problem?
No. I think initially it was seen as a problem in the media, but once digging was done around it, actually it's about understanding why businesses use 0 hour contracts, you know. And once that really came out, I think it did fade out. But in terms of making sure that we aren't seen as an organisation that's exploiting younger people, it's about keeping them constantly engaged. So I'd propose implementing a training programme as part of this, which would mean that, say, on a weekly basis, the coordinator of the proposal would keep in touch with these individuals, inform them of things that are going on within the council, and obviously put them forward for training. I don't know what that would look like at this stage, but it would be something along the lines of there are things that don't obviously cost in terms of training, but it's along those lines where it doesn't require, you know, intensive graduate programme style of training. It could just be come and job shadow, have you got interest in other areas of the organisation. So it's about providing them training opportunities, and I think that would probably work in the organisation's favour and work around that 0 hour issue.
Okay. Just one other thing around practical implications. How do you envisage managers accessing the pool and deciding who from that pool they want?
there will be a facility on the online system solution that will identify what skill sets these individuals have, what experience they have, and more than anything actually, attitudes and behaviours, because at that age in someone's life they may not have everything underneath their belt, but it's what they're prepared to bring. So that needs to come through the matching process. But I don't want it to be just matching, because I want younger people to have the opportunity to put themselves forward for things as well. So the pool would obviously hold all that information, but then there's the opportunity for those individuals to apply for job opportunities as well.
Okay, thank you, that's all from me.
Jazz, I think the first thing I wrote down on your business case and today was the word training, and you've covered that now. And I think that's critical here from a whole host of angles. Training hiring managers in the benefits of young people and opening their eyes up to the opportunities this could present, understanding what training you can give to people proactively to ready them for the workplace, as well as ensuring that their time in the workplace is beneficial in the long term for both you and them as individuals, I think is key. How confident are you in your ability to deliver something this difficult with two people?
I think as time goes by, it will become more clear how difficult or not difficult it's going to be. I think at that stage, when I wrote the business case, I had to think of, well, based on a similar model, that project within the organisation, and how they managed to achieve what they've achieved. It's in the appendix, the Grads Kent project. I've modelled it on that, but I kind of wanted to leave it open, and I know that probably didn't come through in the business case about how to resource it, because like any project, pilot, initiative, anything along those lines, you just don't know, do you? And I guess those discussions would have to take place as the pilot progressed, if it did become a massive beast of a thing, successive beast of a thing.
And it could be self-funding. If it works, you chuck more resource into it and get that. I think final thing from me is good use of facts, you know, in terms of making your story real, creating a case for action. The numbers were real, they were stark, they were powerful, and they added to your pitch.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of questions and also a suggestion. I mean, thinking in my mind, how would this work in my organisation, which is because you're very practical about the benefits to Kent and also to the organisation. My question was around why 18 to 25 and not 16 to whatever, if it's about young people.
I think I based it on the fact that there is a small proportion of 16-year-olds in the organisation as it is, and they're actually captured in our apprenticeship programme.
Okay.
So I don't think it would really, it would be something that they may want to jump on, but as the pilot goes on, if we get a sudden outcry of 16-year-olds saying, actually, I'd like to make access of this, and they could even, if they're on the apprenticeship programme, because you may not be employed full-time on that programme, so that gives you capacity to give up some of your hours in the week to a project elsewhere in the organisation, so they could register their details. But I think I just needed to narrow it to a certain age group initially and see how that worked.
And are you going to do this in Kent? Is it something you're going to do that you've pitched already?
I'd love to.
So you haven't pitched it to your HRD or certain people?
No.
Okay. My other question, this is a really boring HR question. What would you say to someone who said, I need Quality Act in blah, blah, blah.
No.
I want access to this pool, and I want to move around the organisation, be flexible and have opportunity, but I'm 31.
Yeah.
How would you respond to that person?
Yeah. We get that because we've got a younger staff group in the organisation. It did have a cap on it to 30 years old, but it's kind of removed, and we just say, well, the focus and the objectives are focused on that, so if you want to be part of it, you can. I think it's about raising those individuals' awareness around the fact that youth unemployment is a huge issue at this moment in time, and I don't think it's going to be a high risk to this project. I really don't think that we're going to be inundated with those, and it's a risk that I think if I were to lead this, I would take and deal with it at that time and talk about positive recruitment and the benefits overall.
And my other question, and then I'll come on to my suggestion, have you thought about the changes or work you need to do with managers to ensure that your flexi-pool weren't making the tea and doing the photocopying and getting real life.
Yeah, there would be that engagement, that kind of, before it even got to the stage of within my business case, I think I talked about raising the awareness. I think even before that, it's sense checking what people's opinion of agile working is really, because we have got a huge number of initiatives underway, but I don't think it's really something that's been defined within the organisation. So it's about really taking that initiative forward and saying this is what agile working looks like, and this is another one of those projects that's going to help you implement that agile working and help change that cultural, those attitudes around agile working. I think because of it being a delivery type of project, it will deliver the agile working. I think along the way, those attitudes and those behaviours will change over time. And with younger people coming in as well, coming in prepared, you know, in that way that they haven't been exposed anywhere else, they think agile working is the norm, they're going to implement that change. So I think it's a gradual thing like anything that's related to cultural.
And then finally, and I'm seeing your timeline, my suggestion is, in your flexi-pool, have you, obviously Kent got a number of children in care, I would add into your proposal, if you're going to pitch it, offering an opportunity to your care leavers, or working with them before they leave care, because that will also align it with your children's strategy, and kind of speak to the corporate parenting role, and it will also get traction, I would say, with you senior people if you are, and you should pitch it to your senior people as an idea.
Okay, thank you.
I've got so many questions, but I'm not going to ask them because actually we can take this offline. In fact, Jazz should come to our event on the 1st of April. We're doing exactly this around how we engage young people and how they work in the public sector across the piece. So again, you know, picked a topic that we all know is a real challenge. We all know we need to do something. What can we do as employers, large employers in our area? Should we do more? How could we do more? Where's the ideas? And you know, I wrote down exactly what Nick said, no surprisingly, you know, around your presentation was knowledgeable, you were confident, but your facts were really powerful. A few other facts to throw in there. I'd look at your political drivers with a small and big P around this.
Yeah.
There are lots.
Yeah.
And see if there's a lead politician that would support this, there will be. But yeah, I thought this was really a great idea, and I liked it. It's called flexi-pool. It's got a theme, it's got a driver. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much.